What have we got now? Oh, yes, my drinking days. I'm not allowed to drink anymore. I haven't drunk since 1985, but I made up for it. I used to be very good. I was bloody excellent, actually, from what, from what people tell me. One of the things, though, I found, though, that, you can't play this stuff when you're out of it. I mean, that's when you write it, really. But I learned very quickly that there were certain things, that I had to behave myself when I was playing live or doing TVs. And in 1971, I recorded an album called 6 Wives of Henry VIII, which was quite prophetic when I think about it, as I've nearly had as many myself now. And it got the worst reviews ever when it came out. It got stinking reviews. I mean, it was selling well, but it just got stinking reviews. And we couldn't get anybody to play it. Radio wouldn't play it, nobody play it. And then, I know how old you are now, because you're giving it away with wooden tops. But remember Bob Harris and the old Grey Whistle Test? Whispering Bob? Well, he came to me with his producer, Mike Appleton, and he said, I really like the album, Rick, we really like it. I said, that's great, Bob. He said, we want to do a couple of tracks on Whistle Test. I said, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, how it used to work at Old Grey Whistle Test, it was on a Thursday, it went out 11 o'clock on BBC Two, live. And you would go down in the afternoon and record the music tracks. So you take your band down and record. And then any interviews were done live after 11 o'clock on the air, so they would then show what you'd recorded in the afternoon. So we went up to do Catherine Parr and Catherine Howard, and that went very well in the afternoon. And then after we finished, the producer, Mike Upton, came to me and said, right, Rick, that's great, you can send the band home, that's fantastic. You need to hang around for about 7 hours to your interview, live. I went, oh, all right. He said, but don't worry. He said, we've got a tab running in the BBC bar if you'd like to pop down there. I got rat-arsed. Absolutely ratted. I was in a different planet. Now, before I'd gone down, Bob had said to me, he said, the interview's going to be very short. He said, it has to be very, very short. He says, I'm just going to ask you 3 questions, and really short answers, please. He said, I'm going to ask you, how long did it take to make the album? I said, well, 3 months. He said, good. He said, and who was on the album? I said, well, Chris Squire, Steve Howe, Bill Bruford. He said, great. And he said, I'm going to ask you, are you going to do any live shows with it? I said, no. He said, that's fine. That's great. That's just what I want. So it's, how long did it take you to make? I said, 3 months. He said, who was on the album? I said, well, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Chris Squire. I said, great. And are you going to do any live shows? No. He said, that's great. That's what you've got to do. I said, thank you. So they came down and collected me, this gibbering heap from the bar at about 11:15. And it was one of those feelings that the head had gone completely numb. And when I put my feet down, there was like nothing there. It was like one of those. And I'm going back to the studio, being taken there, and I'm in a daze, and I'm thinking, don't blow this, don't blow it. It's all right. If I'm going to ask 3 questions, he said, how long did it take you? 3 months. Who was on it? Chris Squire, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe. Are you going to do any live shows? No. So that's 3 months, Chris Squire, Bill Bruford. And suddenly I'm in the studio, and I'm sitting down with a soporific grin on my face. And Bob's sitting next to me and said, well, we've just heard 2 tracks from the new album from Rick Wakeman, 6 Wives of Henry VIII. We've just heard Catherine Parr and Catherine Howard, and I'm here with Rick. Hi, Rick. Tell me, Rick, who was on the album? About 3 months. and will you be playing it live at all? Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Chris Squire. And how long did it take you to make? No. Went out live. Really embarrassing. And I learned a big lesson after that, because some of the pieces you just can't play. I did an album a few years later called the Myth and Legend of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, which is great fun to do. And there's a particular piece called Merlin the Magician, which I like playing. Normally I play with my band, and I wanted to do it without the band. And it's not that easy, because the piece it starts over here amongst all the keyboards and then finishes up over on the piano, which means I have to stop and come over, and that really doesn't work because it's just all silent while you come. It's all like something else is happening. And I was trying to come up with a way of making it work. And once again, I came up with the wonderful idea of audience participation. So I need somebody to come and help me. So I'm going to come down and choose somebody. And I do like doing this. This is such nice fun, because you see what happens is I walk past people and you hear the sighs of relief as you go past them, because they go, thank God he's gone past us. But of course they're totally unaware that I've come back. I've come back down the line, and you were dreading this, weren't you? What's your name?
Jenny.
Where are you from, Jenny?
Luton.
I'm sorry?
Luton.
No, I heard you. I just said I'm sorry. Yeah, come with me. Go. Please give Jenny a huge round. Come on down. Up you come. This is ever so easy, and it really does get me out of a huge problem, because as I mentioned, I've got... Come in that side, because I've got these problems. Actually, I've got lots of problems, really. No, in you come. You don't have to touch anything or do anything. It's dead easy. So, what was your name again? Jenny. Okay, Jenny. Right, this is dead easy. I want to explain something to you. Don't worry, you don't have to touch it. When I hit a note on here, take my finger off, it stops, doesn't it? Yep. Now, if I've got my foot on that pedal there, it holds on, doesn't it? That's the secret, because you're going to do that. So just put your foot on there for a second, on that one. That's it. Brilliant. Look at that. Isn't that great? Did you see what happened when you took your foot off? It stopped, didn't it? I'm going to be about there if you do that. So you're not going to do that, are you? No, you're not. What's going to happen in a minute, you're going to go back and sit down. I'm going to play Merlin the Magician, and about 5 minutes in, I'm going to look down, I'm going to nod at you. Please don't do what the lady did last night and nod back. When I nod at you, come back up the stairs and come round here. Don't have to worry which pedal, so I'll indicate it again. And you put your foot on that pedal and you leave it there. I nip over there, I just do one setting, so it takes a few seconds. I'll look and I'll nod again. When I nod again, that's when you take your foot up, but only when I nod again. And then stay here, because I've only got about 30 seconds to play, and then you and I walk down to the front and you get a standing ovation. Do you like that idea? Brilliant, okay. So you go and sit down, Jenny. They're going to love this piece. I mean, you're not. You're going to be crapping yourself for the next 5 minutes, but... So Jenny and I are now going to do a duet together called Merlin the Magician.